Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Today we're gonna bust a scrap. I love to bust a scrap. So we're gonna be working with strips, and I have made a couple ahead of time as well as a finished product, and then I'm gonna show you those first, and then there's a freebie. Yes, there's a freebie. I've been working on this for a couple days now, and I love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. I'm thrilled beyond belief. So what I used was strips like this that were longer, squarer, and let me grab them. So what I did was I cut a few strips that were approximately 1.5 by 2, 1.5 by 2.5. This one is a little less, like 1.25 strip. And what I did is then I took and I glued them to white pieces of paper. Now, not really white pieces of paper, the backside of some scrapbook paper that I had also in my bust of scraps. So I've done a few already. Just want to show you. I'm gonna glue these on. So I did this version again on white. I took those same kind of squares and I rounded the edges slightly. I cut some out already. I did not, this was just the squares cut into squares on white. Kind of see where I'm going. Little bases, little little tidbits. Now we've done something similar like this before, where we took the pieces that are tidbits but put them onto prints. So the border was a print on a print. I believe Margaret at 7 Plaza was the first one to do this video. I have a few left, mostly Christmas at this point, but I decided to do it on white paper because I thought that that would lead to a little bit more of a border on it. So this one, like I said, a little bit rounded, bigger round. This one has littler rounds. This one I took and used my tag punch, and this one I took and used my, I want to call it like this, my butt punch. Looks like a butt, but I use this one, which looks more like a corner of a ticket. So all I did was, like I said, cut some into strips. Like this was in 2 pieces. This was probably here, maybe, I don't know. But when I cut it into 2 pieces, this one I rounded, this one I ticketed. A couple of them are duplicates, that one ticketed, slanted. So I would have a longer strip, similar to, like, you know, this one. And whatever this width was, like this is 1.5 inches, so I was good with it. And then just made them, I tried to stick with the 2.5. I said what it is this way, 2.5, I thought was a nice size. I tried to, you know, this cut a 2.5, and what was left over, that's what I used. This one I might use is a little bit thinner, that probably would work. Cut 2.5 and see if I have another 2.5. And that's all I did, is I found some longer strips that were wider than 1 inch and went with that. I didn't want anything much less than 1 inch. I didn't think it would work as well. So all I did was, like I said, glue these down onto the back side because they're going to be glued on as clusters or tidbits or whatever. And I left enough of a white border so eventually I could, like this, cut around and leave a white border on it. And then do the same thing with the ticket punch to go ahead and ticket punch that end. So pretty simple, easy to do, mass make. I want to make sure there's enough room between here to leave. Try to do it straight. I found that that was a challenge for me. And some of these are bigger and smaller, so I was able to do that. Kind of mixed and matched them. I think some of these papers I couldn't put 2 of the bigger ones together, so that's how I decided which ones were gonna go next to each other. Took a big and a small, and it worked. All right, so I'm gonna just let this one dry. That's why I did those ahead of time, so they could dry and be ready to use and show you the freebie. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry, just put that under here. So for cutting, you could use your big cutter. I found it was okay to use the scissors, and I'm just gonna go ahead and split it down the center. And if it was a little bit big or something, I could go ahead and trim it down a little bit. And then kind of match the, probably the medium. Should have, oh, that's the slant one. Whoops. I don't know if this is gonna work now. No, I'm gonna have to go to the bigger one. Might have to round that with my own scissors. Oop, there we go. There's a paper stuck in there. Shoot. All right, and sometimes these are too skinny, too thin to do it on your own, so this kind of leaves a mark. Some of these top ones I had to put two together to round, and I should have known better for that. But now I have a tippet ready to go, and I like this one that's up and down. And if I want to, if I don't like the totally white, you can go and ink it down. So we just do that with the rest of them and get those cut. So I'm going to cut those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut all of them, did their edge shapes similar to whatever the print was. I even got a chance to do the ticket ones that we glue down. Still a little bit curly because they haven't totally gotten a chance to dry, but I wanted to get them cut. Show you how cute they are with the double layer of white, and almost looks like an inset on there, doesn't it? Okay, so now for the freebie. So I have created one of these focal points and put it on a card to be finished, and here it is. So this was the card, just a little piece of paper. There's the white part with the focal, a little tidbit, a little word, and there is the little freebie. I call them mini stamps. Let me show you. All right, so here is the sheet of mini stamps. I do have another version. I'm going to show you. I did put this on my Ko-fi for a freebie, and then I also upsized it, and I'll show you that a little bit, but I just want to point out the whole sheet for you. So these, like I said, are mini. So there's the little guy, and they are approximately 3/4 of an inch, I believe, is what they ended up being for it. There's a slight beigeish stamp-like border on the outside, and it's a bit weathered. I did print it on white, but if you wanted to print it on a coffee dyed or something, that would work too. And I have gone through already, and I cut one sheet, so I have them in a little slip already here. So I have them all ready to go. Very exciting. I think there was 13, 3, 6, 9, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 130 little mini stamps. Very exciting. So what I put on there was I have single flowers. I have a same sort of like sense around it, words, numbers, and they're probably about 10 different words and numbers, all kind of sprinkled throughout for them. So I have single flowers, and then I've got some cluster flowers where they have like some leaves and stuff like that. I got a set of mushrooms, a little more mushrooms, and a little more cluster flowers. And then I've got 2 rows of butterflies. Got 2 butterflies on that one. Very fun. Different sizes, different colors, different orientations. Some are cut off, etc. And then I have a row of birds and owls, flamingos. And then I've got some bugs. Bumblebees, dragonflies, a couple beetles, a couple ladybugs. And then I got a couple frogs. Then I got some places. I've got these like row houses. Kind of remind you of like San Francisco. Painted houses. And a couple covered barns, a couple lighthouses, and a couple red barns. Did I say covered barns? Covered bridges, I meant to say. And then I've got some fall leaves. I've got some fruits and vegetables. And then I've got chickens, cows, squirrels, foxes, and turtles. So cute, so fun. Just something when you just want to put something little on something. And yeah, very cute. So let me show you just really quick. So here's the big version. It ended up being 4 sheets. So the top row, which was the flowers and the butterflies. So this was the full 13. I don't know if you can see it. I got the whole thing in there. And so I enlarged it so they can be used bigger. And these are approximately, I'd say about 1.5 inches for that. So there's a sheet with 7 and then 6, because like I said, 13 and rows of 5. So we got like the top 2. And then the bottom 2. So much fun. Like those houses are so cute, and the chickens, and that like Shetland cow, and foxes and squirrels and turtles and birds and bees, and just I just tried to go through and think of all the little accessories that I've ever put onto cards, ephemera, little things that I've seen before, and try to think of something that you want to just throw something little on. and kind of cover a lot of the bases and make it universal, not very specific. Like I didn't want to put USA on the stamp because obviously not everyone is in the USA. And I didn't want to do anything very specific, like, you know, locations like, you know, Paris, like Eiffel Towers or stuff like that. I just want to do something a little bit more generic and put some on there. So yes, so freebie on my Ko-fi account. And like I said, it's free, but I always am truly appreciated for the lovely gals, usually gals, I'm not sure if I've had any men do it, who leave, I don't even really call it a tip, there's a buy me a coffee kind of thing, it says, where they leave a little donation to support the channel. And it's truly appreciated, not necessary, but honestly, it just makes my heart sing when I see that somebody has donated to and acknowledged the hard work. And this, I mean, it's not physically hard to do, but like I said, it probably took me a good 10 to 12 hours to do this. Not in one shift, obviously. It was 3 or 4 days. I think it was 3 days, you know, working on it 3-4 hours a day, and collect the pictures and size it and clean up the egg if there's anything on there and create the numbers and stuff like that. So no woe is me. I decided to do it because I wanted it, and I decided to share it. I definitely could have tried to sell it, but I thought, how can I sell one sheet of paper? I didn't think that was fair. So it ended up being a freebie. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So let's play with it. Okay, so like I said, we got the focal point for that. Put that up there as an inspiration. And I've got my little bag of goodies here. And I think I'm going to, let's grab a card and see which one matches. So this has some butterflies on it. So let me see if something goes with this, because that would be kind of fun to make a little tag and use that. And I off right hand to see that. Like, how cute would that be? And I know I have butterflies in here because I just pointed it out to you. And blue butterfly would be pretty. I saw there's a pink flamingo would go beautifully with it, but I wanted to put a butterfly, not a flamingo. I think we're gonna go with that. I could keep looking, but yeah, let's go with that. All right, so I have tiny scissors, yeah. And I'm just gonna, I like to do that. I'm just gonna nick the edge off of these just to soften it, make it look less square. Now, the way I trimmed the piece of paper is, and I just cut straight down between the two. So each little stamp has a hair of white on the outside. So if I go ahead and put a little ink on there, I can. Now, I do have my little stamp machine that I cut stuff out. I could probably use that to cut the stamps out, but I think it still gives a good enough idea of what to do. So we would put that down there, and we can have whatever little other tidbit we have. I have a couple, I've got my little boo-boo tape, and I do have some of that pink paper I used with that, which actually might be kind of fun to put a little bit behind here. So let's do that. I just want to tuck it out there just a hair. Just add a little bit to it, a little flower, and probably get a word tidbit. Let's do that. I might trim that down a little bit. Now I am going straight to making a tag, but you definitely could, and maybe I'm gonna nick those corners. You definitely could, kind of like that pile I showed you of the ones that were inspired by Margaret, where I just went and decorated some just to have on hand. But if you have something specific in mind, by all means, then you can go ahead and decorate that. All right, so let's glue that part down. And then we'll make a little cluster. Just want that peeking out a little bit. All right, so what I was saying is you could just go ahead and make some clusters. And I think I'll just put that there, and it's a little thicker. I'll use some art glitter glue. I did print those on, not copier paper weight, just a little heavier, but not really heavy because I knew they'd be tiny, so they didn't have to be really strong. but just a little heavier paper. Oh, ooh, that landed the right way. I'm usually unfortunate to have it land the wrong way. Okay, so I just want that right on the edge there. And put a little bit of glue on there. A little bit of the newspaper ink came off on this, sadly. Trying to get some of that glue off. It adds to the weathering. We're okay. Get rid of that piece. All right, so we got that inked. Now we're going to put a little boo-boo tape of this on the bottom. So I can make clusters like that and just have them laying around to put wherever I want to put them. And I find this little tag and I say, oh, that would look really cute on there. Let's do that. I've got ink around the edges of this though. Can't go wrong with a little bit of a butterfly. Now I choose some paper that, like I said, that was laying around. But if you wanted to take an ugly scrapbook piece of paper, just one, and just glue a whole bunch of pieces on there, spread them out, and then do that just to get rid of a piece. But like I said, I used some larger scraps that I had, lightweight scraps that I had in my box to use as the bases. Cute, right? Little stamp. How can you go wrong, right? I love it. Okay, so let us just grab something that tickles our fancy here and make, of course, I see a little butterfly, or a ladybug. So let's do the little ladybug. She's cute. I like her. I'm sure there's something that can go with it. And we'll make a quick little cluster. There we go. A 4-cent ladybug. I like it. On the little red background. I'm wondering, kind of fun to put a little fern piece, but I don't know, these might be too big for it, but I can always cut it down. I think I will try that one. I was thinking about doing a flower, but I thought the fern would be nice because the contrast of green and red. All right, this got stuck in there, so I'm just gonna trim that off because it's not very cooperative anyway. And I think it'll fit pretty good. And then I'll put like a word or number or tidbit or something on there. There you are. Just add a little pop of something to it. And we'll put some sort of tidbit word down there. Oops. I knew it would work, but you're a little bit big, but there we go. Let's do you. Let's do you. And we'll just trim it down a little bit and go from there. Yeah, so these are going to be great to have on hand, or you're just looking for something, just a little something to add a little pop of color, a little whimsy to it. Then on an angle. and call it a day. I like it. Now when you're making these scrap things, kind of similar to when I made the ones that I made for these, is I did decorate some. Like I said, I had some Christmas ones. Of course, now I had a bird one, but then like this one, this is my only one left, is I had just done the card and the top card, and I hadn't decorated at all. I had a whole bunch of those, and when I needed something, I would then add a decoration to it. So leaving these like this, not all of them obviously, but leaving a bunch of them undecorated to add to something later is totally good, because once again, just something in the stash just to have around is a great idea, I think. They're so tiny, they're like smaller than my glue stick. I only put it right there. I could definitely add like a piece of boo-boo tape if I wanted to or something, but look how cute little ladybug is. Little number, little washi, little tidbit. Wouldn't even know that there's purple back there. All right. Well, right on top here, I see this lighthouse. Let's do that one for a little travel guide. And scissors. So. Now, in my last video, I did, and I haven't gotten really a chance, it's not actually posted when I filmed this, so I'm not sure what the answer is. I did ask preference of how you like the videos. The one that is probably playing now already by the time, well, obviously it'll play by the time you see this because it's the next one up, is, oh, I like that storms with the lighthouse. Oh, that's beautiful. Get rid of the junior. Or get rid of the gas. Let's get rid of the gas. I'm going to put that down there. Sorry, I asked how you like the videos. The one I did is the folded pockets. Or, I'm sorry, the flip-flop, flip-up, flip-over pockets, where I showed just how to make it. It was a quick 15-minute video, and I had pre-decorated one. And I think I added something to it on another one. But I asked, you know, do you rather like the videos that are pre-decorated, where I just show you how to do something, or to actually decorate like we are here and create further, or do you want to see both from start to finish? So if you haven't seen that video, please do, and leave me a comment, because I'm always trying to tailor the channel to what everyone likes to see. So with this one, it's kind of everything, where I showed you how to make the item, and then something I pre-decorated, this, as well as decorate some stuff, a full one and some little ones. So it's kind of the full-blown thing. But, you know, sometimes I just feel like I need to decorate. And this was definitely one of them. And this might literally be the only thing I put on there. Don't you agree? Go ahead, answer. I think it'll be just fine. I like it. Okay, let's put some glue on there. And, yeah, I mean, not to say that you couldn't eventually put something else. I'm gonna line that up over there. Afterwards, you know, put something across the top there, but I think that would be perfect to just put on something. Like say this was this, and this actually would be very nice on there because the colors, and you just put that on there. Maybe put like, you know, a little background piece like I did the other one. I'm not gonna finish this one with this, but you know, add something a little bit to it. I would probably actually do something more, I would say musical, but I had colored sheets that are more lighter, like music papers, and of course I don't have any handy. I think I wanted to do this as an idea, and I don't think I ever showed it. I took a piece of paper, digital, and I used a little machine to cut out the stamps and to be able to use them. And this actually would probably be very cool underneath, or even that one. Gets rid of the butterfly though, but I don't necessarily want to get rid of the pink because I like the pink on there. Okay, I said I wasn't going to decorate, but that could definitely go together. I digress. We're going to put that back to the side here. But yeah, so I have that in my little bucket where I could take little pieces off and add as decoration. And my initial thought was put something like that on there, where it's just a more solid color with a little bit of background to do that, but I saw that color. This is how I get sidetracked, and this is why I said, do you just want me to show you how to make something instead of start to decorate? Because when I start to decorate, I go off in my own little world as if there's nothing else going on. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so I think you kind of get the idea. I'm going to put these to the side. I might decorate some more as I go, but I definitely have a stash now built up where I've got some of those sheets that I can make something. I've got one journal card finished with my little mini stamps, and we did that beauty one, we did that beautiful one, and we did that fun one. I love it. So, 130 of them, one sheet. Freebie. Don't forget to click the thumbs up if you like the video, if you like the ideas. If you think you might do it, please let me know. As well as subscribe to the channel so you see more fun projects and more freebies in the future. Might be a little while before I make the next one, because like I said, this one took me a little while, but it kind of got me back into the mojo of making some of my digitals, because it's been a while. I kind of burnt myself out at the end of last year making them, so it's been a while. So it was definitely fun to get my creative hat on and use that to make some fun stuff. But I like that. Very fun. Okay, well, that's going to be it for today. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you has stopped by, and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.